What's up, guys? Today we're doing race truck stuff to the race truck so we can race truck while we race truck.
Drag race this thing or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
First of all, welcome back. This is the second video I'm making. The first one, we just tested the compression on my LB7. Everything came back great. So what we're gonna do, the first thing that we're gonna do actually right now is, yes, it is the same day. This is exactly after I just taped the last one. I wanted to split these up to keep that kind of on its own. But what we have going on as we put this back together is, this is the Dirty Hooker Diesel Glow Plug Delete Kit, LB7 LOI. This truck is basically a competition vehicle, right? It's street legal. We drive it on the street, but we drive it like a Corvette or something, right? So I actually have you can see back there, that's where the glow plug module usually lives. It's gone. The wiring for it's been removed. So far the glow plugs have just been in the motor, just kind of plugging the holes. So what I did actually, I've been wanting to do this for a while. I pulled the trigger on these. These are really nice pieces. It's gonna be sweet to put these in. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little bit of this anti-seize on it, which is gonna get everywhere, obviously, because this is how it works. So let's just get to it.
Wow, I need this beat right now.
And I kind of just thought we should talk about, so this is a glow plug, right? And why do we put the deletes in, right? Is it just Ricky Racer trying to be cool, I have a race truck type of deal, or what's going on here? So what this is when you look at the glow plug, you know, this is the part that glows, obviously, right? So this is where the hot connection comes into, right? So this is insulated around here. Oh geez, sorry. That's insulated around there. The body of it is grounded on the cylinder head, which is grounded to the motor, obviously. And so when this is charged, this is grounded and the actual electrode glows, right? And that's what helps the motor start faster. So this will glow, the motor starts up, it doesn't do anything else other than that when the motor's running. The whole thing is that this part of it sits into a whole shaft that's inside the cylinder head made for it. And this part of it just barely is what sits inside the top of the head there, kind of like that, right? So these have been known to break. I pulled out all 8 of mine, and none of them are broken. They were known to kind of stick in the head a little bit. These can break off and go into the combustion chamber and hurt a piston or a valve or your cylinder head, especially in a high performance situation where you have a lot of cylinder pressure and a lot of EGTs. So the whole point of this is, since we're not using them, we take them out. The Dirty Hooker Diesel part that we replaced it with is a solid shaft. There's no risk of that thing breaking off and falling into the motor. So that's good. It's cool. You know, they look cool. They're shiny. It was fun to put them in. But that's the whole idea. You guys could see we got all 8 of those in there. It was great. You know, it's really not that hard. You can see that I was really careful as I threaded those in to make sure that there wasn't any crud on the threads. They weren't going to cross thread it, anything like that. A couple actually on this far side, the threads are a little dirty. I sprayed them up with some brake clean. I turned the engine over, shot it back out, made sure the threads were clear. You got to be very careful with these. Those threaded, shafted, you know, those holes that go into the cylinder head. are they're really hard to fix actually without replacing the cylinder head or taking it off and bringing it to a machine shop, maybe welding it from the inside, machining it a little bit. It's kind of funky. I'm just being really careful with that. Thankfully, we got them all in there. We put NICs all over them. One thing to watch out for that is the glow plug deletes are stainless steel, which is great. It means they won't rust on their own, but the cylinder head is aluminum. That's, there's a thing that can happen there called galvanic corrosion. And what that is that the two dissimilar metals will tend to corrode when they're up against each other if they had the chance to. So trying to avoid that, I put the NICs all the way around it, tried to get it in there with that to make sure that everything is lubricated, nothing's going in dry together, and hopefully that doesn't happen. I trust Dirty Hooker Diesel. They make a lot more power than I do. And I think they'll be okay, but that's a little precaution that we're taking at that. So we're gonna move on. Next up for race truck stuff is we have this hood stack. Friend of mine, Sam, he does this for a living. I don't weld for a living. I pieced this together and he came over and we tacked it up.
Wow, I need this beat right now.
Hot. Beaver. And got it all up in place along with that new 7-inch pedestal for the S480. It fits really good. It's 4 inches where the backside of my last hood stack was only 3 inches. This is gonna flow a lot more air that we're gonna need. So what I'm gonna do is I got some heat wrap. We're gonna wrap it up. We got some stainless steel zip ties to keep it together, and I'm just gonna do a little time lapse and wrap it up for you. Put it in, see if it fits. Beaver.
Drag race this thing or what?
Yeah.
Okay.